The 1960s may have been an ad man's world, but they would have been nothing without these lovely ladies.
What do you want me to say? I think she expected you over the weekend.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Mad Men women.
You never say you love me.
For this list, we're looking at all the ladies who appeared in the Mad Men universe and are choosing our favorites. However, we're considering more than just looks, as each character's development, influence, and actions are taken into account.
I do a lot of mock drinking. I'm a wench. I'm a courtesan.
If you haven't been keeping up to date, consider this your spoiler alert.
You don't have to tell her everything.
Number 10, Trudy Campbell.
You'll notice only men coming out of there.
I know you all work so hard.
While Trudy is relegated to a supporting role for most episodes, she exemplifies the perfect 1960s wife.
Do you dress as a bunny? Maybe a little cottontail?
It's very wholesome.
Beautiful and intelligent, she is faithful and loyal to her husband, the nauseating Pete Campbell, despite being cheated on and neglected at every turn.
This is how it's going to work. You will be here only when I tell you to be here. I'm drawing a 50-mile radius around this house, and if you so much as open your fly to urinate, I will destroy you.
Eventually, Trudy comes to her senses and kicks Pete to the curb, which proved she was in charge of her own life. We're just shocked it took her 6 seasons to finally do it.
You still care about me. I know your debutante maneuvers.
We're getting a divorce.
We're still married.
Number 9, Sally Draper.
Hello, Daddy.
Don't hello, Daddy, me. Go sit down.
The eldest child and only daughter of Don and Betty Draper, Sally's character has changed significantly over the course of the series, as she's grown from a child to a young woman, from a supporting character to a more central one.
Stop it! No! Stop it!
Though we'd struggle to say Sally is close with her father, they're 2 peas in a pod when compared to her relationship with Betty, whom she antagonizes every chance she gets. Sally can be described as both mature and immature for her age. She makes cocktails for her father and smokes with her mother, but is also prone to naivete and stubbornness. With Don and Betty as parents, however, it's a wonder she's made it this far.
I'm going to break your arm next.
Betty!
Don't worry about me finding a man. I already have you to keep me in line.
Number 8, Sylvia Rosen.
You don't mind sitting across the table from your wife and my husband?
I don't think about it. They're both good company.
They are.
Just when you thought Don was capable of being faithful to his wife, in walks Sylvia Rosen. An Italian beauty, Sylvia is intelligent and strong-willed, but also discontented with her life, which is perhaps what led her to Don.
You found it in the cookie jar.
I have money, I just never have money.
And what led Don to her is her resemblance to the few maternal figures he's had in his life.
So if you ever really cared about me at all, knock it off!
Sylvia eventually ends their affair because of her relationship with Megan, Don's wife at the time. However, the two end up in bed together one more time, only to be caught in the act by Sally.
Sally.
While Sylvia is just another of Don's conquests, she gets props for how profound an effect she had on Mr. Draper.
Like that?
Number 7, Dr. Faye Miller.
You want to get some dinner or something?
No, thank you.
A true personification of the modern 60s woman, Faye Miller is a psychologist who provided consulting work for Stirling Cooper Draper Price, which led her straight into the path of one Don Draper.
This is just a stop sign. I walk into a lot of offices, and it's helped me avoid a lot of distracting conversations.
The kind of single woman who wears a wedding ring just to avoid being hit on, Faye was tough and independent, although she also had a soft side, which eventually caused Don to reveal to her the secrets of his mysterious past as Dick Whitman.
I'm glad you told me.
The two maintained a relationship for much of season 4, until Don spontaneously decided to marry Megan.
I can't believe this. Yes! Yes!
Maybe Dawn should have considered Faye's father's mob connections before dumping her so unceremoniously.
So you're not going to put an ad in the New York Times saying you never liked me?
Faye.
Well, I hope you're very happy. And I hope she knows you only like the beginnings of things.
Number 6. Rachel Menken.
You were expecting me to be a man. My father was, too.
Mad Men is as much a show about independent women as it is about the advertising business. And this began in the first episode of the first season with Jewish businesswoman Rachel Menken.
We're known for our service.
That's gotta be a tough job.
I know.
The head of a department store, she has a shrewd mind for business and instantly frustrated Don by refusing to accept his ideas for her store.
I'm not gonna let a woman talk to me like this. This meeting is over. Good luck, Miss Menken.
The two eventually reconcile, however, and, stop us if you've heard this one before, begin an affair.
No. Unless you tell me you want this.
Yes, please.
The affair eventually ends when Rachel realizes that all Don truly wants is to escape his life. Rachel was arguably the first in what would become a long line of disastrous relationships for Don.
This was a dalliance. A cheap affair.
Rachel, don't.
You don't want to run away with me. You just want to run away. You're a coward.
Number 5. Jane Stirling.
I feel like I'm walking in tall cotton.
Aren't you darling? You're gonna be gangbusters.
Of course, there are female characters on the show that Don hasn't slept with, and one of them is the drop-dead gorgeous Jane Stirling.
Paul Kinsey, copywriter. Harry Crane, married.
Jane Siegel.
Jane started off as a secretary at Stirling Cooper and instantly drew the attention of every guy in the office, including Roger Stirling.
Where do you live?
In the village. Jane Street.
Jane on Jane Street. It's a pretty picture.
Roger begins an affair with Jane and eventually leaves his wife to marry her.
He's leaving me for a secretary.
Roger?
He's in love, and you said it was great.
Mona, I didn't say anything.
Although beautiful, Jane is a heavy drinker and cares more about material possessions than anything else.
I'm a nice person.
She was able to keep Roger faithful for an extended period of time, although they eventually realized their marriage could not last and agreed to divorce.
You don't like me.
I did. I really did.
Number 4. Megan Draper.
Zooby, zooby, zoo.
Happy birthday, baby.
The French-Canadian Megan represents the carefree attitude of the late 1960s, a sharp contrast to the rigid Dawn. Originally, Megan worked as Dawn's secretary before rising through the ranks to become a copywriter.
No, I'm going back to try acting again.
Are you kidding me?
Although she eventually quits to pursue an acting career. Like most of Dawn's girlfriends, Megan is beautiful, independent, and intelligent.
Bonne nuit, les animaux.
You said you didn't have any experience and you're like Maria von Trapp.
She has an excellent relationship with Dawn's children and is able to keep his attention enough to prevent him from cheating. For a little while at least.
You should get some sleep.
How can I? My wife's a big TV star.
As has come to be the norm for all of Dawn's romantic relationships, their marriage ends up deteriorating, but Megan got as close to Dawn's heart as anyone could.
Whatever you need. I owe you that.
You don't owe me anything.
Number 3. Betty Draper Francis.
I called the office. They said you'd left.
Childish, immature, petty. All words that could be used to describe Betty.
I don't even know what to say.
A former model, Betty is now a mother who constantly belittles her children and assumes the role of the classic dissatisfied housewife.
I'm taking away Barbie.
You're mean.
You betcha. Get in there.
Although beautiful, her marriage to Don is full of infidelity and lies, causing it to end after 3 seasons.
I want to scream at you for ruining all of this.
Her marriage to her new husband, Henry Francis, seems more mutually beneficial, but she still can't seem to shake her feelings for Don.
What are you doing?
Waiting for you to tell me to stop.
However, falling back into bed with her ex may have revealed Betty's most mature moment, as she empathizes with Megan and sums up Dawn's entire love life.
That poor girl. She doesn't know that loving you is the worst way to get to you.
Number 2. Joan Harris, née Holloway.
Hopefully, if you follow my lead, you can avoid some of the mistakes I've made here.
Hello, Joan.
Like that one.
Originally the big boss of the office secretarial pool, Joan is the one almost everyone goes to whenever there's a problem.
I've been offered a few, and this is by far the best.
She's a complex character who acts as a midpoint between other women on the show, as she aspires to marry rich and quit work, but enjoys and thrives in her job.
It's a hoot.
I guess that's okay.
I'm glad you approve.
Joan consistently evolves throughout the series, however, eventually becoming a partner at Stirling Cooper Draper Price, while also raising a child, proving it's possible to be both a mother and a successful businesswoman.
I know what men think of you. That you're looking for a husband, and you're fun. And not in that order.
Independent, gorgeous, and sassy, Joan's the woman all girls want to be and all guys want to be with. We believe Paul Kinsey said it best.
Well, Marilyn's really a Joan, not the other way around.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions.
I don't care about your marriage, or your work, or any of that. As long as I know you're with me.
Let me take off my brassiere.
Wait a minute.
Stop telling me what to do. I know what you want.
Hello, Mr. Draper.
Well, I need you to give me a divorce.
Oh, well, of course. I never thought of that.
But you can't be a man. Don't even try. Be a woman.
That's a pretty picture.
What's your secret?
Number 1. Peggy Olson.
I always try to be honest.
Good for you.
One of the central characters of the entire series, it's arguable that nobody has grown as much as Peggy Olson.
Here's your basket of kisses.
Basket of kisses. That's cute.
Initially an awkward secretary, Peggy eventually works her way up to copywriter.
I will do my sincere best.
A feat almost unheard of for a female employee at the time, before essentially becoming Dawn's second-in-command in the creative department.
It's your job! I give you money, you give me ideas.
And you never say thank you!
That's what the money is for!
Peggy maintains a complicated relationship with Dawn and eventually quits SCDP, although she is one of the few women in the series whom Dawn actually respects.
I'm sorry, but you know this is what you would do.
Peggy's determination and hard work proved that women were just as capable as men, an overriding theme of not just the show, but of the entire decade.
Don't be a stranger.
Do you agree with our list?
No. There's no problem at all. It's very clear.
Who's your favorite woman on Mad Men?
You are speaking slowly, so I will understand.
Forget my name.
For more exciting top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
You're too much.